Starting off tonight, well, just in case you didn't pay attention in high school English, irony was one of those terms you learned if you read the books you were supposed to. But if you didn't ever learn the term irony, it can be defined as, "Hi, we're a Middle Eastern country. Would your president like to borrow our plane?" Well, Chris Christie is back on the scene as the rumor mill is once again churning out news of another possible White House run, this time in 2028. One of the first headlines revealing his reappearance was titled, "Chris Christie comes out of hiding to spark more rumors of a presidential run in 2028. No, he didn't come out of hiding. The moon just moved. Oh! Okay, that was too easy. Well, Waffle House will not be left in the 20th century, as it has announced it will be installing EV charging stations in many of its locations over the next 12 months. A spokesman for the popular chain said in a statement that many of the franchises participating will be those already located in middle to upper income neighborhoods. And these places are where the EV driving customers can safely charge their environmentally friendly vehicles. So, a few things. One, there are no Waffle Houses located in middle to upper income neighborhoods. Two, Waffle House has no customers that drive EVs. And three, nobody that works at or eats at the Waffle House cares about the environment. I mean, yeah, it's all frozen anyway. Now, while there has been much cynicism about how many customers will actually participate in the rollout of chargers for vehicles, there is almost a unanimous agreement that it will be a popular place to charge ankle monitors and portable breathalyzers. Yeah, now that's practical. That's practical. And before we go any further, I would be negligent to not ask you to check out our YouTube channel, as well as TikTok and Facebook, where you can like and subscribe. Well, now ladies have one more thing to worry about, as a male Tinder customer has been arrested for dropping a Viagra in his date's wine glass. The accused Englishman, Harry Askriak, said in an interview, "This one time I met a beautiful brunette called Carmen in Weatherspoons. I popped a blue one in her drink, and 10 minutes later, the table started to rise and knocked all the drinks and cheesy chips all over me lap. You just never know these days." You know, this really makes you miss the good old days when you could just ask your date if she had a dick. I mean, you know, the good old days. Well, President Trump is continuing to change more regulations, as he has now mandated that truck drivers who are not proficient in reading and speaking English will not be allowed on the road until they have proven themselves otherwise. In addition, all women will temporarily have their driver's license suspended on a 28-day rotating schedule. And in doing this, there is also hope that women might get on that same rotating schedule, thereby reducing all highway accidents by 87%. And it's also rumored that their concealed carry permits will also be suspended on the same schedule. That's kind of a short hitter there. Well, the death of George Floyd not only brought about massive protests and devastating vandalism to large U.S. cities, but also called for a demand that all police officers should be required to wear body-worn cameras. And while the new camera footage was expected to expose gross negligence by police, it actually has exonerated nearly all cops from accusations of brutality and civil rights abuses. The cameras are now even being called racist against black and brown people. I think I may have a solution for this problem. There, fixed it. Now you can't tell. Well, another UFO sighting has been reported, as the so-called Bugosphere was recovered in Colombia and has been described as, quote, defying anything known to this planet in composition and structure. You know, if you've never seen a fancy spaghetti strainer anywhere. And here's something for y'all a little closer to home, as a wedding photo in Portales, New Mexico has gone viral, at least in eastern New Mexico, that depicted a newly wedded couple posing in front of a distant tornado. This photo has now been ordered by every marriage counselor and is on the wall of every divorce attorney in the United States. You got to get it on both ends there. Well, French President Emmanuel Macron may need some enhanced security after he was seen getting double-fisted in the face by his wife, Brigitte, before deplaning from their government jet. Well, that's just great. First the Nazis and now a woman. They just can't win over there. Well, a big, beautiful fight erupted at a Disneyland in China after two couples started throwing hands at each other after a heated argument over line cutting. The two husbands got into a physical altercation, which then spilled over to one of the wives intervening and then shoving the other wife, which was holding her own child. Both families could be facing a lifetime ban from the park, and since it happened in China, they could be facing a lifetime ban from breathing. You just don't want to mess up over there. Well, the next time you make that trip to the fridge for a beer, you can once again feel bad about yourself when you hear about the woman who won an ultra marathon while making 3 different stops to breastfeed her baby. Canadian Stephanie Case wowed onlookers after she crossed the finish line before the other 60 female competitors. However, the awe soon faded after it was discovered that 50 of the other women stopped to get colonoscopies, while the last 10 just hate their husbands. I don't know why that would slow them down, though. Well, race officials gave the new mom special permission to pause to breastfeed on the race on the condition that she couldn't accept aid during the stops. Accept aid? To do what? And now, while the mother basked in the glory of her win, her small child was also asked on how she felt about the whole situation, where she said, quote, "I'm not going to lie, it was a little sweaty." Okay, one more. Now, while it's very common for competitors to take breaks along the way of these 100-kilometer races, this is the first recorded resting point referred to as a tit stop. Okay. And with that, we're going to say goodbye to y'all from all of us here at Eventually Late. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for joining us.